Hello, everyone. Nikita here. I was challenged by a brother, Daniel, to share my testimony, and so that's what I want to do today on Resurrection Sunday. Happy Resurrection Sunday to everyone. I hope everyone's well and safe. Um, I wasn't raised in a Christian home or even going to church regularly. Eventually, I would go every now and then to different places, but and I remember as a young kid, like probably 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, I was told about God and Jesus, and I believed, but only to the extent of existence. I believed in God's existence. I didn't walk the life I ought to, and throughout my life, every now and then I would think about hell and that I knew I would go there if I died, and I didn't want to, and it bothered me. But then eventually I would go on about my day, and that would be it. But in 2010, late 2010, I was staying up late, super late one night, and uh, thought of hell once again. But this time it was different. The fear rushed me so hard that I literally jumped out of my seat. Was like, oh, dude, you know. but and then I went to go pray. I don't remember what I prayed. After that, I really sought the Lord, and I never read the Bible. I've read some parts of the Bible in my life, but at that point, I made a commitment to read what I had, which was at the time the little Gideon Bibles, just the New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs. And time goes by, and in this time, I'm seeking people that I know, or at least think that are saved. How can I be saved? How can I save myself? This was in my mind. Um, and I would look online. I would ask people questions, and I would get answers and whatnot. But I didn't feel like I was saved. And then time goes by, and I remember my little sister and I were at the fall festival, and we saw this man open air preaching, which I've never seen that in person. I've only seen it like in movies and whatnot. But he was open air preaching and out in the public at one of the tents, and I really admired that he was doing that. And I shook his hand, and then a little bit more time goes by. The following year, I see him again at the high school because I used to walk my sister to school, and she's like, "There's that man." I'm like, "Yep." And then for a while, we didn't see him for a while, and I'm not sure why, but and the second thing that happened to me in my life that struck fear into me was I was online late 2013, and something about the mark of the beast I saw and read how it's possibly coming real soon, and that struck fear in me. And I knew I wasn't right with the Lord, so I really wanted to be right with the Lord. So I said, okay, next time I see that guy, I'm asking what church he goes to because I wanted to get involved in going to church. And I think at the time I thought about doing good things and going to church would save me. But anyway, and it was either that same day or the next day. We saw him, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to him. And on the way up, talking to him while we're walking, seeing him in the distance, while we're walking to him, I was tempted by the devil to not talk to him, and fear was upon me. But then, thankfully, by the grace of God, I overcame that fear and talked to him. He told me where they meet at, the church, the assembly building, and been going there since. That was on a Wednesday night. I think it was October 3rd. Yeah, October 3rd, 2013. Um, and I think he thought I was younger than I was, so he had me in the youth group, which was fine. I actually enjoyed it. It was under him, and he taught the youth group. He's a faithful brother, and I look up to him a lot. His name's Nathan. But yeah, I've been going there ever since. I think I've heard the gospel throughout my life, I would say. Um, but clearly hearing it and understanding it was from preaching at that church. And like I've been told and seen online to say this prayer, ask Jesus into your heart. I've done that multiple times before that period, and I just didn't feel saved. I'm like, why don't I feel saved? And which turns out, I know now that's not biblical. There's nowhere in Scripture that says that, to be saved. But now I know the gospel, that Jesus Christ, God himself, came down, humbled himself, came down as a baby, grew up, uh, lived sinlessly, perfectly, fulfilling all righteousness, willingly laying down his life on the cross, which is what we celebrate now. It's not about the Easter bunny, Easter egg hunt, and whatever. It's Resurrection Sunday. It's about Christ and what he did on the cross. Laid down his life willingly, suffered in our place, was buried, bore the wrath of God that we deserve. We all of us are sinners. We've all fallen short of the glory of God, every single one of us, ever since Adam. Jesus fulfilled righteousness, laid down his life, bore the wrath, was buried, rose again, and that's, like I said, that's what we celebrate, the resurrection. He ascended. He sits at the right hand of the Father now and reigns supremely, and will return one day, real soon. But this time he will return as King, and that's our hope. That's what we ought to be watching for, waiting for, yearning for. But yeah, that's my testimony, basically, in a nutshell. I was actually baptized April 20th, 2014, which, funny enough, was Resurrection Sunday of that year. So it's 6 years, and telling my testimony online. And I think I'm gonna. Who should I challenge? I don't know if I'll say it. I think I'll just tag their names. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna tag their names, and hopefully they'll share their testimony. Thanks for listening, all whom did and all whom will, Lord willing. And God bless.